The EU's chief Brexit negotiator in London this afternoon, keen to stick to social distancing rules.
Be careful, please.
As EU politicians arrive to tell the UK government to stick to the law. With Brussels officials alarmed at Britain's plan to depart from the legally binding divorce bill the two sides signed less than a year ago.
And I came here to express serious concerns the European Union has over the proposed bill. So that would be the matter of our discussion today.
But as he climbed into a taxi to meet UK ministers, he was to find they were in no mood to climb down.
I made it perfectly clear to Vice President Šefčovič that we would not be withdrawing this legislation. And he understood that. Of course, he regretted it. But we also stressed the vital importance of making progress.
But that has brought progress to a standstill. The government's insistence that it will bring forward new legislation, the so-called internal market bill, that would break laws signed with the EU, has tonight prompted this ultimatum from the EU Commission's Vice President. To withdraw these measures from the draft bill in the shortest time possible, and in any case by the end of the month. By putting forward this bill, he said, the UK has seriously damaged trust between the EU and the UK. But as the 8th round of talks towards a UK-EU trade deal ended badly here again today, doubt has now been cast on the prospect of a UK-US trade deal before talks have barely begun, with some in Washington reacting angrily to Boris Johnson's plans to break international law. The Speaker of the US House of Representatives, which has the power to sign off on international trade deals, had this warning today for Boris Johnson.
How can they walk away from an international agreement? How do you trust that? We've made an international agreement. This is how we'll go forward. Oh, never mind. What were they thinking? Whatever it is, I hope they're not thinking of a UK-US bilateral trade agreement.
But tonight, as EU officials headed back to Brussels and US politicians urged the UK to back down, the government is showing no signs of changing direction.
I mean, this is fascinating, isn't it? Because the European Commission, they don't get angry like this. But the government, it seems to be, is unmoved. So who's going to blink first?
Well, this government, as we know, is kind of prone to a U-turn or two. Over the past few months, we've seen that. But historically on Brexit, it doesn't tend to budge. And it's not the kind of government that takes threats and ultimatums lightly. That said, I think they will have an eye on what Nancy Pelosi said over in the States today, and I think they are keeping an eye on the kind of domestic rebellion within the Conservative Party, which seems to be growing by the day. We saw today Lord Howard, Michael Howard, the former Conservative leader before David Cameron, he was outraged in the House of Lords today. He said, how can we reproach Russia or China or Iran when we are showing such scant regard for our treaty obligations? He's echoing what two former Prime Ministers, Theresa May and John Major, have said already this week. There is a growing Tory rebellion. I think there is an amendment being put down on that bill to try and give Parliament more of a say. I think over the next few days what the government will be doing is keeping an eye on how big that rebellion grows.
OK, fascinating stuff. Dan, thank you very much indeed.